Hello everyone. I'm Renata Kalmunene, Marketing Project Manager at MedDream. And today we have a technical training dedicated to MedDream Communication API integration. And our main speaker is Marius Šadauskas, our system integrator. He is going to present how it works and show you demos, very important and productive presentation. And today also we have Artūras Gruodis, our Chief Integration Officer at MedDream. He is going to help Marius and of course in the question and answer part to answer the questions. About the questions, please write all integration-related questions in the question and answer section. I'm going to collect all your questions, and in the end of Marius' presentation, I'm going to read, and Marius, with Artūras' help, we are going to answer your questions. Also, a reminder that our training is being recorded, and after the session, in a few days, all the registrants will receive a presentation file and the video recording link. Marius, are you ready to start?
Yes. Hello, everyone. So I will start my clock and we'll start sharing. So today we are going to talk about the communication API integration in the MedDream Viewer. So we will overview what is this communication API about and how it could be used in the MedDream Viewer. We will see how it could be installed and configured. And also we will talk a little bit about our external links plugins, and you will see how it can be combined with the communication API to have, I would say, much wider and broader result if we talk about the MedDream integration and your web application integration to have it working together. And of course, we will go through this communication API integration demonstration, and we will go through question and answer section. So first, let's talk about this communication API. So I think a lot of you who already uses the MedDream Viewer knows that MedDream in principle has three types of the integration, how it can be integrated in web application. So it is integration by URL, communication API, and viewport API. So for this webinar, we will focus on the integration via communication API, and we'll go through it. So the MedDream Viewer can be integrated in your application using the communication API. In principle, this method of integration is similar to the URL integration. Well, actually, it's even includes the URL integration because without it, it wouldn't work. And what it allows you to add the viewer, MedDream Viewer into the iframe or open it in the new browser window, a new tab, or how you like the MedDream to be presented in your application. However, communication API gives you much more control than only the standard URL integration. It would allow you to have more of the controlling functionalities of the MedDream Viewer. For example, you can define, how you want to open the studies, how to add studies, how to close them, how to change the layout, open some specific instance with define a transformation, set some callbacks, and so on. So this bunch of the functionalities allows you, to have a very flexible solution created with your application and with the MedDream Viewer. What else? Communication API also allows you to subscribe to various events, such as, for example, you can subscribe to events and get notified when the study is loaded, then the annotation is saved. For example, study instance is changed, or let's say a measurement is created. You can automatically get the event result about this measurement, and you will get the full measurement details, and you can do whatever you need with it. For example, automatically add it to your reporting system, or automatically send to your AE algorithm, who will do some manipulation with this, let's say, measurement, and will provide you some feedback and so on. So this subscription to the various events gives you, I would say, a lot of possibilities, to get the data from the MedDream. As well, of these events, you can also get certain data from the MedDream. So, for example, you can, using Communication API, you can get data of the opened studies, opened series. You can get information about viewport data, viewport information. For example, how many viewports are opened, what each viewport contains, what study instance UID, what series instance UID, and so on. Also get an instance metadata with, I don't know, the patient information, the image information, like min-max values, center values, and so on. So all these things gives you much more control and the possibilities to integrate the MedDream Viewer into your system, and to receive and to send the study-related information. So for this, we have updated our specification file, and we have here a full list of the Communication API features, which Renata and the colleagues just finished a few days ago, I think, and it's now available on our website. And it's actually quite nice thing. So I will just quickly share you this document. So for you, it will be easier to understand and easier to check. And even for us, I think it will be very nice to see. So we have this product specification. You will find the link in the slides after the webinar. And if you scroll down to the Communication API section, it is somewhere integration by URL and the integration by Communication API. And as you can see, all the functionalities which are available in the Communication API are listed here. So for you, if you want, to start using Communication API and you're still not sure if such functionality, exists or no, so you don't need, to go through the documentation of the functionalities and so on. As a salesperson or manager, you can just see it in human written language, what functionalities this Communication API have. And as you can see, compared to integration URL, what are the possibilities, and possibilities for Communication API, it is much more, much broader functionalities. So you can check this features file later and see what it includes. Coming back to this Communication API, so as I mentioned, but it actually also consists of the URL integration. So the Communication API can be used with the token disabled or token enabled URL integrations. So for the production environments, we always recommend to use the token enabled URL integration. So you would have a secure way of the integration, and you can use it for this demo. As I'm running, on the local environment, and just standard, anonymized study. So I will use the token disabled URL integration. And we also, on this slide, have some additional links, which will be available for you after this webinar when you will receive the slides. So for the communication API, we have prepared, of course, the documentation, which is available in PDF or in mpgms.com website. Also, we have prepared the demo of the communication API, which you can deploy on your environment, on your computer, and run it, I don't know, within a few minutes and see how it works. So in this webinar, I will show you how this can be done, how it should be configured, and we will go through this demo integration. But I just want also to show you on the website where it is located. So on the documents and API, we have the integration guide. And if we go to the integration guides and the communication API, so here you can see a video demonstration of this integration. Here you can find the PDF document with the documentation. So it opens this documentation here. And we have this link, communication API example. So on this link, you will have a demo, explain it instructions how to set up a demo, which I will demonstrate on this webinar today. So here are the links where you can find them. And of course, we have our NPM repository. This communication API is a public repository, so you can find it and you can see all the documentation here. Yes, before going to the installation and configuration part, one more thing to stress out about this token disabled URL integration. So it is lack of the security, because if you will provide this open by token disabled integration, by study ID, patient ID, accession number, and so on, so anyone knowing this information would be able to access other person studies. So for this, token disabled URL integration is only could be used, for the testing, as I will be doing the test now, or only in very small, very isolated, sites in the local network where there would be no, internet access and a huge workload. Okay, now let's go to this communication API installation and configuration part. So in principle, there is three things you need to do before the installing and configuring communication API. So the first thing is to download and install the MedDream Viewer. So I hope you know where to find it. So on our website, you can find the download section, and you can download and install the MedDream Viewer on Windows, on Docker, on the Linux. So depends how you would like. The second thing, what you would need to do is to download the demo sample studies. This is basically 4 or 5 anonymized studies, which is used in our communication API demo. You could use your own, studies. There is no problem, but then you would need to edit this communication API demo, change the study UIDs, and so on. So for the sake of the simplicity, while setting up this communication API demo, I would suggest, to download the samples or sample studies, upload it to your existing packs, or install some open source packs like, I don't know, Ortang, DCM4Chi, Canva, or any other which for MedDream, which can be configured in the MedDream, And for this demo, I will be using the Ortang because I also already have it installed, and I have these sample studies uploaded already there. So once you have this MedDream installed, demo studies downloaded and uploaded to your packs, you need to configure MedDream application properties. And in principle, this is minimized application properties example, which you can add to the MedDream application properties, and it would be enough to run this demo. So in principle, you just put the server port on which MedDream will run. You will use the study URL integration. You will have some demo user which you will want to log in with, some default permissions for the login for the user, and configuration for the paths. So in this case, as I'm using OrTank, so I'm using our OrTank plugin and just have this configuration added. And one more important thing is this last parameter, post message whitelist. So you need to provide this parameter so that MedDream would accept the post messages sent by the communication API. So for this test, as I will be using, so I'm using this star symbol. So this means that it allows post messages from everywhere. So it's okay for testing, like I do, internally on my local computer. But when you do this, online or you are going for the production, so this should be changed, and here should be provided your actual system URLs from which you will send post messages. So in our documentation, you can find section about this post message whitelist, and it describes, what should be added. So for the testing, I'm using this one, but for the production, you want to use this line with the actual addresses of your system from which you will do this communication API calls. So when you have this done, when you have the MedDream downloaded, install it, configure it, studies uploaded, so you can open, MedDream and check that these studies are open. And then you can follow this link, this communication API example, which I showed you here, this communication API example, and not this one actually, this is just instructions, but download the zip file of the communication API demo. So this part is the link. So once you will download this demo file, so it will contain two files basically, example.html and index.js file. So you want to copy these files to MedDream installation folder in the MD5 folder. So if you run Windows installation and you just click next, 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 so it will be installed in MedDream, in MDPack MedDream. So you will go to MD5 folder and just paste these two files, example.html and index.js, to this folder. And then you can access your MedDream URL, and after the slash, just put example.html, and you should see the communication API demo. So you should see something like this. So in my case, I already have done this to save some time. And if I will go to example.html, as you can see, I have the same communication API example ready. And as you can see, by default, the integration type is the study, so token disabled URL integration. And if you want to go by the token URL integration, you can choose tokens. And in the example HTML file, you will find these tokens. However, these tokens will be expired. So, and not expired, they will not exist in your token service service. So if you want to test this token-enabled URL integration, so two things you need to do. So in MedDream application properties, comment out his parameter study, add the token service validate endpoint, And in the example HTML file, around 957 line, you will have these free tokens. So basically, you would just generate a new tokens and paste a value as here, and you can test this communication API integration with the token enabled URL scenario. Okay, now coming back to the slide. So using the links plugin with this communication API. So as you might know or not know, MedDream has this external links plugin, which on the MedDream toolbar can be found somewhere by default at the end. And there is this plugins icon, and it could have some links provided here. So with the links plugin, in principle, you can execute various URL commands and add, additional metadata information. So, for example, you can pass study instance UID, you can pass patient ID, storage ID, series ID, and so on. And you can form a specific URL and, for example, send it to your third-party system and to open it either in the new window, in the active viewport, or in the model iframe, depends how you want to do this. So this is the one way how from MedDream you can open external system. But also what is important that with this plugin, external links plugin, what you can do, you can actually have your system integrated into the MedDream Viewer. So with the combination of the communication API and links plugin, you could have dynamic content displayed in the MedDream Viewer viewport. So this, don't worry, I will also show you when we go through the examples. And for the configuration of the links plugin and documentation, so you can find in our installation manual in this section, external links plugin section. And to configure links plugin, it is configurable in MedDream installation folder in links.json file in medcat plugins folder. So using this links plugin, for example, you can load your web application to MedDream Viewer viewport and display, for example, a measurement data from the study, or you can initiate some measurement creations, through your system. And when the measurement is done, let's say in the MedDream Viewer, on the right side, for example, you have your system embedded, and it automatically subscribes to measurement events and gets this information, and let's say automatically fills the report template for the doctor. So the doctor, when he does, some measurement, he doesn't need to copy paste this file or even write by hand, and do some mistakes, by writing on the keyboard. You can also subscribe to various events and get this study information. So combining the links plugin with the communication API gives you very, very flexible and powerful, I would say, solution where the sky is the limit, I would say, depending on the functionalities, what you want, to achieve, what you want to do, and so on. So we will go through this just in some minutes. This is just an example of the external links plugin JSON file. So this is how it looks like. So in principle, this is the plugin 1, this is the plugin 2, and you can do various things with this. So in our installation manual, you can see this table, and it shows how you can open this plugin, how to make the URL, how to put, in different layout, what information you can provide if you are opening the external URL. For example, like storage ID, instance, series, study UID, accession number, patient ID, and so on. And also what is important that it has the parameter section where you can, for example, start your plugin or in other words, you can embed and open your system in the MedDream Viewer window, viewport, automatically. So you wouldn't need, to go to the toolbar, click on the plugins, choose the plugin and click on it, and then it would open somewhere. You can automatically start it on the study when the study is open it or the instance is open it. You can close it after a certain amount of time if needed, and so on. So all this information and a lot of examples are provided in our installation manual on the external links plugin section. So check this and you will find the information. If you will have a question, so just write us an email, support@meddream.com, and we will help you with the answers. And one last important thing before going to demonstration, I need to drink a little bit. And the second most important thing about the Links plugin and communication API, if you would use the token enabled URL integration, then you would be very powerful. Because using the token enabled URL integration even allows you would already have the, I would say, dynamic solution with the Links plugin and the communication API. But if you are using the token enabled URL integration to open the studies, as you can see, you can pass the plugins configuration part here. And all the parameters which are added here, as you can see, for example, URL, open type, position, and so on, all these parameters. So for example, this plugin has the parameter to open the demo meddream.com, for example, the link. But for certain times, for example, you want to open a different link. So when generating a token, you can pass this plugin information and say that for this study, when you are opening, the URL of the plugin should be like this, some kind of different plugin. So in this case, the practical example, for example, would be if you want somehow to authenticate your external system. And let's say to authenticate it, you need to pass some, I don't know, one-time token, access token, generated token, or whatever, And each time it is different, So using just Links plugin wouldn't work for you because you would need to provide the value. It would be, I don't know, question mark access token equals ABC or something like that. But if you provide this in the token, each time you generate a token, you can generate new access key, for example, to your external system and pass this parameter. So each time the study is opened by the token URL integration, you could pass different URL of your external system with your authentication method, with your one-time URL, specific URL or something, and load it. And you can also change all these other parameters, like how to open it, position, open type, the layout types, search parameters, window height you can change, if you know that for certain studies, for example, you need to show bigger model window. So you can change these parameters in the token JSON. So that's why it is very, very useful and would provide you a lot of flexibility in using the Links plugin and communication API. Okay, let's go to this API demonstration. I'm talking too much. So the communication API demo, I will demonstrate it. So basically it has free tabs. So, or free, let's say, functionalities divided in our demo. So one part is for the integration functions, basically how you open the study, how to add another study in MedDream, how to replace it, how to hide a study, show a study, how to cache a study, how to close the studies, and so on. Second, viewport functionalities basically allows you to set different layouts, hide some info labels, get a hanging protocol list, apply them, and so on. So it shows it basically about the viewing functionalities. And the last part is about the measurements, which I told you about subscribing to the different events, getting the data from the viewport, even creating a measurement from the data, getting some virtual series, and so on. So now let's go through this actual demo, and I will demonstrate you some of these examples. So I have this demo here up and running, and using this communication API, I can open a study from this demo page, and it will load me a study which I requested. Using this communication API, by the way, jumping back a little bit, why it is good to have this example? Because in this example, if you will check the source code, you will find all the functions. So near all the buttons, you will see what communication API functions we are calling. So for the developers, that's why we would recommend, to first run this demo, so when you will be deploying your application, it would be easier for you to test it. So I'm not going now through all this source code, because maybe not all of here are the developers, but for developers, they can find all the source code here and see how it is doing the things. So, for example, using communication API, you can add another study to the MedDream. And if you open the MedDream Viewer window, you can see that I have now 2 studies opening. So there is also functionalities, for example, replace opened studies to preload them, to hide the studies. For example, you can cache the studies, so it would be cached in the MedDream, and it would be much smoother to scroll through series, especially if it is a big study. So, for example, if I initiate cache all studies, so as you can see, it automatically starts preloading the study. So it's basically a similar thing as I would click this cloud button, and as you can see, the study has been preloaded. But I have initiated it through communication API call. And as you can see, I can scroll through this series without any problems, without any lagging, and so on. Also, we have, for example, functionality to close all studies and leave a viewer empty. So I just click this close all studies button, and as you can see, MedDream Viewer window is empty. So I'm not going through all of these buttons, because it would need, I would say, another dedicated webinar for each of these, go all through these buttons. So I will just go through some of them, but the idea that you can, set up it and run it on your computer and play with it and see how it works. Now let's jump to the viewer functionalities. So here I have opened the same CT study. So for example, it applied the hanging protocol and opened it for me 2 by 2. But let's say I want to change layout for this specific study. I don't know, let's say 3 by 3. So I can initiate the call, communication API call, and the viewport changes to this particular layout. Let's say I want to change layout to 1 by 2, and it changes me this layout. Or I would say, let's say 2 by 1, and it changes me. Also, it is possible, for example, to export an active instance. So in this case, I have this instance open it, and it is active. As you can see, this red square around this image. So if I will initiate export active instance click, what it will do, MedDream will export this instance, and it will download the image for me in JPEG format. As you can see, it is downloaded, and if I will open it, it will open me this exact image, which I have on the MedDream Viewer open it. So this is the part, where you can do this if needed. For example, let's refresh the study to have it on the original hanging protocol. And let's say we have all these info labels, which in some cases we don't need, So you have functionality with communication API to hide the info labels. So if you will click hide info labels, as you can see, there is no info label display. So you can display them again. You can set some additional info labels. If I click it, as you can see on the left side, additional labels are provided. So here, of course, you can provide which DICOM tags you want to display, what information you want to display. It is also possible to set some custom study labels. So if I will initiate this, as you can see, nothing happens, but it should happen. But I need to click on this custom study and series tags. And as you can see, some custom tags has been added. So once again, this all information you will find in this example.html file, but I still need to show you. I want to show you. So you will have all these buttons, everything, and here you will have all these functions, viewport functions added. So for example, how to add a study to MedDream Viewer window. Basically, this was called, how to replace the window, this was called, and so on. So you can find by this, buttons what function has been called and check what communication API calls has been made. What else you can do? So, for example, this would be, I would say, quite important thing because you can get a hanging protocol list of the current study. So if I click this button, as you can see, it detected and showed me that I have 2 hanging protocols available for this study. And it actually is true, because if I will click on the hanging protocols, as you can see, I have protocol 4 per panel and 1 per panel. So if I will, let's say, choose this hanging protocol, I can apply it, and it will be applied here on the viewer. If I want to change it back, and I can apply again, for the different. So this is a kind of nice feature, when you are deploying your system, and if you have multiple hanging protocols, and certain times you want to apply one protocol, another time you want to apply different. So using communication API, you can do this, you can get a list of hanging protocols and apply the one you want to apply. Also, we have this measurement and events section here. So in this section, actually, it's even better just to enable this console and see through it as well. So you can get some data from the viewer, as I mentioned it, and it's also possible to subscribe to various events. So for example, I can subscribe to instance change event, and when I'm subscribing it, and if I'm coming back to the MedDream Viewer, let's say I will scroll through this series a few times, and if I will come back to the communication API, as you can see, we got these events immediately, and it has all the details in which viewport, what instance has been changed, So you would get this information, your system would get this information immediately if you would be subscribed to instance change events. Also, you can find the same information, the same output in principle in the console. So here you will find all the information, what has been returned from the MedDream. Let's say I want to subscribe to measurement events. So I subscribe to them. And let's say here, as a doctor, I'm drawing, a line and measuring something. So here I have 477 millimeters. If I will come to communication API, as you can see, the measurement created event has been subscribed, and we have the result. We have the measurement ID, we have the type, what measurement has been created. We can see in which container viewport it was made, for which study, for which stereo, for which instance it was made, And if we scroll down, we can see here the value. The value, what this measurement, got us. So in this case, the real example, for example, could be, the doctor is drawing making some measurements, and you automatically, getting these measurements and putting them, for example, to a report or to your some other system, or sending these measurements somewhere else. For example, you can subscribe to measurement updated event as well. And if doctor selects this method, this measurement, let's say he made a mistake, and just redo the measurement of the same line measurement. As you can see, the measurement updated event also has been added, and it provides the new value. If I will do some other, I don't know, measurement with more information, like ellipse, as you can see, it has much more information here. So all this information, as you can see, is also available here. So as you can see, you can subscribe to much more things. And in principle, from time to time, we add more things to which you can subscribe, and adding more functionalities. Another thing, what you can do is to get some data. So, for example, you can get a data of the opened studies. If you will do this, and in the console, you can see the all information about the opening data, from which storage, what is the study UID, and so on. So in principle, it's best, to just copy this JSON object, and in Notepad, or in your system where you are doing your developing things, and see all this information, what it consists, so you can see what relevant information you might need. For example, you can get a viewport data, and the viewport data will be returned for you in the blob format. You can get, for example, viewports information. Viewports information will consist with the which study, which series, which instance is located in each viewport, as we have now the 4 viewports opened. So that's why we are getting 4 viewports, and we can expand them, and see all the information relative to the image, like image centers, position of sets, scaling, I don't know, some height, weights, and so on. So all this information is available in this viewports information data type. We can also get active instance metadata information. So here we can see that the study UID as well, instance UID, series UID, all this information about the study, information about the patient, like patient ID, name, birthday, and so on, all these pixel spacings, and much more information available here. So you can see this information and get this information by communication API, and do the manipulations, and do the things you might need. Also, what you can do, you can, for example, have a toggle virtual series created dialog. So what it will do, it will give you a pop-up to create a virtual series, and you can do this here. You can also have the measurement predefined and create this measurement. But for this, I will show you this with the links plugin example. So we'll go through this on another example. And basically, what else? You can get, for example, a list of available items. So you can know that the user, what are the measurements enabled, all these functionalities, what toolbars are enabled. So you can also get a list and know if the user have this, toolbar enabled or no. So this is the example of the communication API, the demo example, which is provided in our website, in our documentation, and which you can set up on your environment, on your MedDream, on your computer, test it and play with it. So you can go through all these, buttons and see all the functionalities, how they work. And now I would like to go to a few more demos, which for now is not in the documentation, but we are thinking maybe for the next releases we will have them added as well. So now let's go to one demo. And imagine that this is your hospital information system. Let's say we are logged into the MedDream Viewer, and not MedDream Viewer, to your hospital information system. And here you have some list of the studies, but I would like the studies to be loaded. Yes. And you have the MedDream Viewer embedded in the iframe. So in this case, all this part, his demo, all this information is your system, your information system, your web application, or how you call it. And you have the MedDream as a web component integrated into the iframe. And in this example, what I would like to present you. So here, imagine that as a doctor, I have logged into my portal, to my system, and I know that I need to see these free studies. However, these studies are quite big, and it is worth, to have them preloaded in the MedDream, so for faster loading. So what you can initiate from your system, not through MedDream by clicking this, cloud button each time, but from your system, you can initiate the preload hidden studies button, and what it will do, you will see that it will change the state from not preloaded, it changes state to the preloaded. And what happened, as you can see, the cloud button disappeared, meaning that this study is already preloaded in the MedDream, and the doctor will not have any problems viewing this study. So now if I will open, let's say, this CT study, as you can see, the study is already preloaded, and I can scroll through series, without any problems. I can open another study, load some videos, US studies or whatever. And as you can see, it is opened instantly, and it's already pre-cached, and it's working very, very fast for the doctor. So this could be, one example how from your system, if you know the studies which needs to be pre-cached for the doctor, because you know that he will open these studies today or in 1 hour or something like that, you can preload them from your system and then show them preloaded in the MedDream Viewer in the iframe. So this is a nice feature, and you can see, think how you could implement it in your case, when you are developing your system. Now I want to show you a few demos of combination of communication API and the links plugin. So let's open a simple DX study. And in this part, I will open plugins, and I will open my first demo. So I have created them without auto opening, so I would be able, to choose them. So the first demo. So now each demo I'm presenting, this part, left part, is your system. This is your web application, and on the right side is your application. On the left side, it is MedDream Viewer. So what you can do, for example, in your system, as I showed in another example, you can subscribe to measurements. And when I do the measurement in the MedDream Viewer, as you can see, this measurement automatically, instantly are get showed in your system, and it doesn't matter which measurement I'm doing. As you can see, this information is automatically appearing in your system. So you do not need, to somehow copy this parameter, copy this values, go here to your system, find the correct, the table and paste this value. Everything can be done automatically by subscribing to measurements and filling your, let's say, report automatically. So this is one example how you can do the measurements on the MedDream and get these measurements in your web application. Now let's see the second example. The second example is similar, but it's completely opposite. So from your system now, on the right side, you tell to MedDream that you want to draw a specific line, that you want to draw a specific rectangular, or that you want to draw some specific ellipse or any other measurement. So from your system, you can send a communication API request and draw some measurement. And this could be done, as you can see, automatically without choosing the measurement, making it, and so on. So basically, by sending this request to the MedDream from your system, you can do this. So this could be, I don't know, example. Let's say you have the study mm, uh, already reprocessed by artificial intelligence, and maybe it found some lesions, some things which need to be showed to the doctor. So in principle, instead of I don't know, add rectangular, you have a button show AI results, and it will show you this, I don't know, measurements or the areas of the interest which doctors need to see, and with this one click you can do this thing, so this is again up to you, you need to think how you want your system, to you from your system you need to say to MedDream what you want to do in it, and it will do it. So this is the second example, and we have one more example. It is similar to the first one and to the second, actually. For the doctor, for example, to choose some measurement, in principle, he needs to also click on the measurement tool and select the tool, which he needs, and so on. But if you already know that you need to draw a line, a ruler, so you can have some predefined buttons as well. And when I click Add Ruler, as you can see, the measurement automatically is chosen, and the correct measurement is chosen. And with my left mouse, I can draw this measurement. If I will click Add Ellipse, as you can see, the measurement pointer changed to the ellipse, and I can do this measurement. And it is created, so if I will do some manipulations of the measurement, as I showed you, it's possible to subscribe to these measurement edit events. So as you can see, if I'm editing this measurement, the value automatically gets applied. If I choose rectangular, so of course it will draw me the rectangular. So this is again, right side is your system, and you can, as you can see, you can get information from the MedDream, get the measurement values, get the hanging protocols, get the metadata information, and all this information from your system you can apply to the MedDream Viewer, to this viewport part. So combining the links plugin, combining the communication API, and token-enabled URL integration. In principle, you can have a very powerful and flexible solution, It's just your imagination, how you will create it, and what it will do and how it will help the doctors and full, the workflow of the healthcare. So now, thank you very much. I talked really too much. Now let's go to the question and answer section. Back to you, Renata.
Okay, thank you, Marius. I don't think you talk too much.
Yeah, 54 minutes. I was training for 40 minutes, so 15 minutes, 15 minutes too much. But yeah, when you improvise, this happens.
I don't think that our attendees bothers about that.
I hope so. That they're
Okay,
okay.
so let's move to the questions then.
Yes, I
I
will
am
stop sharing.
sharing my screen
Okay.
so I could read. Okay, now you should see.
Yes, it's
Correct?
coming. Yes.
Okay. So
Yes.
first, what are the details of MedDream's plugin system that would allow us to use the system and alter, access DICOM metadata and be functional within the viewer to display consistent hanging protocols for radiologists?
Yeah. So for this, MedDream Viewer has the hanging protocols, and you can use our hanging protocols, which takes in principle, the study metadata, and applies the correct hanging protocol. But as you saw from our demo, it is also possible to get this metadata information about each viewport, each serial, each instance, and so on. So in principle, if you would like, it is possible to set the wanted layout, set each serial displayed in your desired viewport, and so on. So you can either use our hanging protocols, or you can use communication API and put instances in the viewports how you want and how you like it.
Okay, thank you. So I'm reading the next one. Would it be possible to get access to the technical documentation on that plugin system to learn how to make our external API plugin easily with MedDream?
Yes, so in our slides, I have presented this documentation already. So I think Renata will send this presentation after the webinar to the registered participants. So you will find this documentation. But of course, as well, it is, as you saw, it is on our website. So if you will check the recording, you will see the places I showed you on our website.
Yes, our registrants will receive presentation with all the information was presented. So another question, what are the process requirements, agreements, approvals, gates, etc. to plug into MedDream's web viewer to give radiologists consistent hanging protocols?
I would say it's a similar answer to the first question. So we have MedDream has their own hanging protocols. So you can check them, you can use them, you can create your own hanging protocols on the MedDream interface, or you could use, this communication API to build the views you want yourself, So it's up to you.
Okay, thank you. Another question. Basically, how to set up and manage, configure MedDream API connections between an external web front-end, React, TS, and MedDream.
Yes, so this is basically what we showed in in the communication API examples. So the last examples was with the communication API and links plugin. So this was demonstrated, yeah, how to do this.
Okay, thank you. Next one, what are the common integration challenges developers face and how can they be avoided?
I would say maybe failing to read all the documentation and not setting up the demos, because this demo actually is really good, because if you would go, you would start from the, I don't know, documentation from this NPM repository, and you will start building, but you might have some questions. You might not find everything in a document, and on our demo, you have very nice view, with all the buttons, which says what it will do, open study in MedDream, apply hanging protocol, get metadata, and so on. So you can find this information in our demo examples. So that's why we are creating them actually, so that for the developers it would be easier, to see how to make some calls, what functions to use, and so on. So I would say, yeah, use all our documentations and demo which are provided on our website, and it should be much easier for you to implement everything.
Okay, thank you. Another question, logistics for integration and what is needed for our technical team.
Yes, so in principle, our MedDream Viewer is available for download. So you just go to our website, download the MedDream Viewer. You can even download with the PAX Lite version with pre-installed PAX, and just open our documentation and go demo documentation and go through the steps, and you will have this up and running.
Okay, another question is where a way for MedDream to open the images directly from AWS S3.
Yes, this is not this topic of this webinar, but in principle, yes, we have the AWS S3 dedicated plugin. So you can find in our installation manual. So it is possible to open studies directly from S3. However, you would need to create a service which would return the JSON metadata information, which metadata we need. It is described in our install manual, and you would need to provide this metadata and the direct links to the DICOM files from the S3 buckets. And in principle, then the MedDream will take these images directly from S3 and display them.
Okay, thank you, Mars. I just want to mention that if somebody wants to ask a question or comment, please write this in the question and answer section through Zoom. And I'm moving to the next slide with the questions which were collected during our technical training. So, can I subscribe to structured data from structured reports, such as those data or particular lab values?
A good question.
Now, at the moment, we don't have any API to subscribe to structural data, SR, and so on. So it's not available at the moment.
Okay, I'm reading the next one. It was comment or question. I missed the part where I can see the actual API request, then using the buttons in the example HTML.
Yes, so in principle, if you will open this HTML file in Notepad++ or whatever, so you will see all the API calls. It will start viewport communication dot open instance in MedDream or something like that. So you will find this if you will inspect this example.html file in some editor. And of course, this is all the API requests are available in our documentation. So you can open this documentation link and you will find it.
Okay, thank you. Another question, how do we download sample data?
Yeah, so there was also a link, and it is the link for the sample data in the demo PDF document, the instructions how to set up all this demo. So there you will find, you know, this all the links to the communication API demo, to the sample studies which we use for this demo, and so on. So it was you will see this when you get this the slides. It will be in slide number 12.
Okay, thank you,
Yes.
Marius. You
And
are
number 10.
precise.
Yeah.
Are the data schemes, event subscription responses, etc., published or documented?
Yes, it's documented how to subscribe to the events. I think the responses is not the documented maybe, but how to subscribe and what to which methods you can subscribe, it is explained in the documentation.
Yeah, but the responses are not documented. So in principle, you can see in console what
Yes.
data we are returning.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So I'm moving to the next one. Is it possible to customize or completely hide the toolbar?
Yes, it's possible to customize. It's possible even through user interface. You can disable the options which you don't need. For the hiding, I don't think that we have option to hide completely.
We don't have an option to hide at all, but in mobile version right now we implemented possibility to hide some buttons, and when you press on the three dots, then we show it additional. So in principle, you can leave only 2 free toolbar options, and the fourth will be the button with 3 dots. When you press it, then you will see more buttons if needed. So this is only how you can customize at the moment.
Okay, so the next question, how can we specify a patient to show via studies from our system?
Specify patient.
So basically, in token disabled integration, you can pass patient ID, and then you will be, MedDream will show a dialog box with with a list of patient studies, and the user will be able to select them. In token enabled integration, you can do the same. And you can also configure MedDream to open all patient studies automatically.
Okay, thank you. So the next question, can we preload studies using the native MedDream Viewer? We call the viewer with our Chrome extension to support diagnostic displays. We would like to be able to keep the viewer open and close or preload studies as required.
It's possible to do preloading when you open the study in MedDream, but if you want to preload the hidden studies, so it would be only with communication API. If you just want, to open the study and automatically start preloading, so it's possible to have this in the settings enabled.
Okay, so I can move to the next question, yes?
Yeah, in principle, theoretically, even from Chrome extension plugin, you can, via communication API, you can open a study, you can preload it in browser memory, and then unhide them. So theoretically, it should be possible. We never tried this.
Okay, I'm reading the next one. For the preload serious integration, is it necessary to have a MedDream login And also another attendee added to this one. Is there any documentation about it? We need it to integrate the preload series, but using our domain we already have.
No, you don't need to. If you talk about the MedDream login window, so then no, you don't need it. And to log into MedDream, no, because it is runs through a URL integration. So either the token disabled or token enabled URL integration. So about these integrations, we had a webinar a few months ago, or I don't know, or in September, some in 25. So you can check our recordings how our URL integration works, but you do not need to log in.
Okay, so I'm reading the last question. If somebody else has more questions, please write them now. Can serious preloading be done outside of localhost? I mean, from domain A, where the preload request is made, to domain B, where MedDream is hosted.
Yes, yes. If your system runs on different address, so yeah, it's possible to do this. So that's why you need this post message whitelist parameter. So you would list from where MedDream accepts, these requests, API calls.
Okay, so I think it was all the questions. And to these our attendees who wrote about the need to contact our sales, left the email, so we will pass to our sales, and who needs some more information from sales part, please contact us at info@medream.com. And if you need more information from integration team, please contact at integrations@medream.com. Correct?
Yes, yes, very correct.
Okay, thank you all for participating. Thank you for attending. Also, thank you for who just registered but couldn't be online with us, but you will receive a recording and you could watch it later on your time. Also, all our recordings after webinars and trainings is not only sent to your emails, but also we are published on YouTube. If you subscribe MedDream channel on YouTube, you can watch our videos, technical trainings, and webinars recordings. Also, you can find them on medream.com website. So all useful trainings were kept in there, so you can watch them later. So thank you very much. Thank you for Marius for such an informative training. Thank you, Arturas, for the help. We really needed you. And thank you all for such an active, being such active in the questions part. And thank you all for attending, and see you on our upcoming events, webinars, and trainings.
Yes, thank you very much, and goodbye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.